Some heroes use muskets. Some heroes use intelligence. The American War for Independence was raging. The talk of freedom was a topic of everyday conversation. James was a slave on a Virginia tobacco farm owned by William Armistead. One day, James had an idea.
Morning, James. Lordy, lordy. Now what is that boy up to?
Good morning, James. Is there something on your mind?
Master William, I would like to help the colonial army.
What could you do to help the army?
Well, I have spent my whole life as a messenger and deliverer for this farm. I know the countryside better than most folk.
That's true.
I also know what vegetation is edible in these parts. I could forage for food and act as a guide. Plus, I could be a stable hand and a servant.
All right, James. You are a man of character and my most trusted slave. I believe your services would benefit the colonial army.
We shall pay the army camp a visit in the morning.
William Armistead was serving as the Virginia State Commissary of Military Supplies. Therefore, he was able to effortlessly arrange a meeting with Major General Lafayette, the commander of the Continental Army's Light Infantry Division. The Marquis de Lafayette was a French military officer who joined the Continental Army under its commander-in-chief, General George Washington. As his protégé, Lafayette sought ways to impress Washington. Therefore, he was always seeking a military advantage for the army. If James was able to convince Lafayette that employing him could provide the colonists a higher degree of leverage over the opposing British forces, it would ensure James's enlistment. Early the next morning, James was hoping to do just that.
General Lafayette, my boy James here, is interested in providing his services to the colonial army. So, James, what skills do you possess that could help the army? Well, sir, on our way here, I saw some of your soldiers heading north on the road here. They will discover that the bridge is out and the surrounding swampland will be too difficult to pass. Sir, I could have shown them a better way.
I trust you could. You know the local terrain, and you can obviously read a map.
I can read a lot of things.
James, I have a good feeling about you. I believe I have a job you could do. How would you like to be my personal spy?
That sounds amazing.
Well then, because of your race, you should be able to pass in and out of the camps of both armies undetected. No one will suspect a slave of espionage. It is settled then. Your first assignment will be to go to the camp of that traitor, Benedict Arnold, and pretend to be a runaway slave who is seeking employment. Yes, sir.
It wasn't long before James made his way to the camp of the British unit led by the turncoat Benedict Arnold.
Halt! What is your business here?
I am a runaway slave in search of employment.
Fine. The camp is down the road.
Born in Connecticut, Brigadier General Benedict Arnold began the war as a contemptuously proud officer fighting for the Continental Army. However, Arnold was a loose cannon, arrogant and driven by personal glory. Thus, he grew resentful when he was passed over for a promotion after his plot to surrender the fort at West Point was exposed. Arnold defected and took up arms against the very cause he once served. Once inside the camp, James would work various jobs and try to get close enough to the leadership to glean information. One day, something unexpected happened.
You there, colored boy. I need you to spy on the Continental Army.
This is going to be easier than I thought.
As a double agent, James could freely move between camps. The guards at the checkpoints came to recognize James, and they just assumed he was ordered to perform a task like he had many times before. He even became a well-known figure within the camps.
A most exceptional forenoon bestowed upon you, James.
Morning, Colonel Hamilton.
It didn't take long before James was providing valuable information to Lafayette.
Take note, Thaddeus. We will attack Lafayette's camp in 3 days.
Likewise, James provided misleading counter-information to Arnold, designed to complicate British efforts.
How is this happening?
Before long, a much larger British force would arrive to revitalize Great Britain's war efforts in Virginia. It was led by Lieutenant General, 1st Marquess and 2nd Earl, Charles Cornwallis, who was Benedict Arnold's superior. However, General Cornwallis believed Arnold needed to leave. As Cornwallis saw it, Benedict Arnold was a traitor, first to the crown and then to the colonists. He was self-serving and could not be trusted. Furthermore, because he was ill-tempered, Arnold was disliked by his own troops as well as his fellow officers.
Toodles! Don't embarrass me, Toodles.
Now go tidy up my tent. My position is too consequential to be mucking in the mud with all of you swine.
This made him ineffectual as a leader. As a result, Benedict Arnold was soon relieved of his command and transferred out of Virginia. Assuming command of all British troops in Virginia, Lieutenant General Cornwallis moved his headquarters to a town with a deep-water port. To keep his army readily supplied by sea, he chose Yorktown on the York River. Needing additional administrative staff and domestic help at his new headquarters, Cornwallis acquired many of the recently departed Arnold's former staff and servants. James was among them. Placing James inside the HQ of the most powerful British commander in Virginia, it was here that James would continue his mission. As James worked to provide valuable intelligence to Lafayette, the two men gradually formed a lasting friendship.
General Lafayette, I have a surprise for you.
I managed to smuggle a bottle of Chateau Margaux out of the British camp. For you.
Fantastique! James, you are ingenieux. I thought you would like that, sir.
I would like that, indeed. What I would like more is for you to sit and have a drink with me.
Oh, no, sir. I couldn't.
I insist.
Vers la victoire.
Back at Cornwallis's headquarters, James's intelligence-gathering operation was paying dividends.
Would you like some tea, sir?
Bring me Hasan Pfeffer!
Now, clean this mess.
Yes, boss. This is interesting.
And then, the big payoff.
Our British ships are tied up protecting convoys, guarding the West Indies. We are lacking proper naval support. Bingo! Tea, anyone?
The moment had come for action.
James, tell General Washington what you have learned.
Cornwallis's forces are here, at Yorktown, with no place to retreat. Extraordinary. Good work, James. Lafayette, prepare for battle. We must strike while we have the advantage. Oui, General. It will be done.
Battle ensued.
Charge! Ah!
Working with the Continental Army, the French Navy formed a naval blockade in the Chesapeake Bay at the mouth of the York River. They also scuttled 3 British ships in the Yorktown harbor, making retreat by sea impossible for Cornwallis and the British. The battle continued for nearly 3 full agonizing weeks. Finally, the Patriots prevailed.
Over the rudder!
Cornwallis was defeated.
Colonel Hamilton, what do you think about this victoire?
Candor obliges me to acknowledge that the ambitions of peremptory antagonists and tyrants have been extinguished on the field of hostilities by virtue of the vanguard of convictions.
Verbose. James, what do you think?
What he said.
After the war, General Lafayette wrote a letter of commendation to the Virginia State Assembly on James's behalf.
This is to certify that the bearer by the name of James has done essential service to me, while I had the honor to command in this state.
His intelligence from the enemy's camp were industriously collected and most faithfully delivered. He perfectly acquitted himself with some important commissions I gave him, and appears to me entitled to every reward his situation can admit of.
With Lafayette's letter, and help from his master, William Armistead, who was now an elected member of the Virginia House of Delegates, James applied for emancipation based on his military service. The Virginia Assembly voted in the affirmative, and James was a free man. Out of admiration and appreciation for all that the Marquis de Lafayette had done, James legally changed his last name to Lafayette. With honest hard work and wise investment, James went on to buy himself 40 acres of land.
Great horny toes! For that price, I'll throw in my mule.
Industrious, James made a good living. He owned his own home, and he raised a family.
Lordy, lordy. Now, what is that boy up to?
Adding to his fortune, James applied and qualified for a military pension.
What in tarnation is all of the excitement about? Everyone is waiting to see the parade for the last living general of the revolution. Could it be?
Stop that coach!
I am so glad to see you, my old friend. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend here served with me in the war and is a hero.
James would spend the rest of his days as a local celebrity known as James, the war hero who served with Lafayette. Liberty must be earned, and James had done just that. Patriots, scan the QR code or pause the video and tap the code for the link for cool merchandise. Thanks for your support.